So a while ago, I was making review videos for the new Pokémon Horizons series, where I'd basically go over the episode and point out things I noticed and what I liked/disliked about the episodes, then give each episode a rating out of 10. However, I eventually stopped making them. Now don't get me wrong, I still really like the series, especially lately with the Terastal course and the gym battles, but now I'm like over 40 episodes behind on reviews. So that's what leads us into this video, where to catch up, I'm going to be speedrunning reviews, giving my thoughts and ratings as quickly as possible in order to catch up. And who knows, if y'all seem to like this style of video, maybe it'll become the norm going forward. But without further ado, this is... oh, how does that one guy say it? Oh, right. Speedrunning Pokémon Horizons. Episode 19, The Bittersweet Truth. So in this episode, the gang visit a cafe, which happens to be run by Murdok's old friend. The two of them had a falling out in the past over Mawet's evolution, but thanks to a little help from Liko, they're able to make amends. It's cool to get more of Murdok's backstory and personality here. He really feels like an older brother figure to Liko and Roy in this episode. However, this episode is probably the most filler episode we've gotten so far. Still alright though. 4 out of 10. Oh yeah, and Kabu's here. Episode 20, Kabu's Battle Training. Liko and Roy meet Gym Leader Kabu, hoping to find a lead on Rayquaza, and end up having a training session with him. Now I'm a big fan of this moment, since it really highlights the differences between Liko and Roy. Basically, while the two compete in a game to put out or ignite Litwick flames, the two have very different approaches. Liko develops precise and large variations of leafage to attack with, showing off her intelligence. Meanwhile, Roy relies purely on passion, firing up fuecoco by singing. Afterwards, the two have a battle against Kabu and a gym trainer. Roy and fuecoco try their best and learn Flamethrower in the process. Then the battle is left between Liko and the gym trainer. Despite clearly winning, Liko forfeits the match after seeing how much her opponent wants to win. This ends up being a big character growth moment for Liko. She is extremely caring and kind, and puts the feelings of her opponent to win above her own. But this ends up being the wrong choice, since it devalues their win. This allows her to learn more about what it's like to be a trainer, and helps her grow as a person. Now, I mention this part because I remember when the episode first came out, people were really upset with Liko's actions, but honestly, it's perfectly in line with her character. She even did the same thing before, way back in episode 2 when she gave herself up to the explorers so nobody would get hurt. So this episode gets a 9 out of 10. Sorry, that wasn't much of a speedrun, but I had a lot I wanted to talk about. Episode 21, The Lonely Hatenna. In this episode, Liko encounters a Hatenna who seems to be feeling sick. This is because Hatenna senses strong emotions and is overwhelmed. Liko, being the empathetic character she is able to break through to Hatenna and ends up catching it. This episode is also where Liko finds her goal, which is to be a trainer that understands the emotions of Pokemon. Nothing much really happens here, but it's another good character episode for Liko. I also enjoyed seeing all the interactions with the crew. 5 out of 10. Episode 22, Charge Galar Mine. This episode mostly serves as setup for the next episode. Guess that's one of the benefits of doing these reviews so late. After getting a lead on Rayquaza, the group head to the Galar mines to search for it. They end up getting separated, where Friede encounters Amethio and Liko and Roy encounter Galarian Moltres, one of Lucius's Pokemon. Now, the one thing I don't like about this episode is that just when Liko and Roy are going to have to fend for themselves, they end up getting saved by Cap. Yes, they are new trainers, but they have constantly been relying on Friede up until this point, and I'd like to see them battling on their own more. This does change as the series goes on, but we still have a long way to go until then. The episode ends with Liko and Roy escaping and leaving Friede and Amethio trapped in the cave. Overall a decent episode, and I remember the Moltres reveal being really exciting. I give it a 7 out of 10. Episode 23, Fiery Galarian Moltres. So, remember how I said the last episode Friede and Amethio got trapped in the cave with Moltres? Yeah, well apparently none of that matters, since the episode starts with Friede meeting up with Liko and Roy at the Pokemon Center. It feels like these two are never gonna finish a battle. Anyways, they come up with a plan and return to the cave. After some trial and error, and some help from Arboliva, they're able to calm Moltres with Sprigatito's scent, and it agrees to go with them. It's here that we get our first look at Lucius, and get the name drop of Rockwa, or Laqua in the dub. Also, Terapagos transforms out of its pendant form, and stays that way from here on out. The mystery of Horizons continues to grow and get more and more interesting. It's honestly one of my favorite parts of the series. I give this episode another 7 out of 10. Alright, I think we'll call it there for today. My original plan was to do 10 episodes in this video, but since we're at a good stopping point, I figured let's stop here and see if y'all actually want to see more of this kind of video. If you do, be sure to let me know in the comments. But as always, thanks for watching, and be sure to subscribe for more nerdy content.